Most companies think they lose their biggest accounts because of competition and pricing. They'll blame the market, the economy, the product. But after analyzing over 100 failed strategic accounts, I can tell you that's not what's killing them. What's killing them is happening inside their own organizations, and most of them don't even see it until the revenue is already gone. Look, I've spent over 27 years in sales and strategic account management. I've worked with global organizations, helped clients generate billions in additional revenue. And I've seen the same patterns destroy accounts over and over again. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest reasons strategic accounts die. And if even one of these sound familiar to you, you need to pay attention because your biggest account might be already on life support. Number 1, this is the biggest one. Companies use their key accounts to hit quarterly forecasts instead of building long-term relationships. This is where it starts to unravel. Leadership is under pressure, the board wants numbers, and so what happens? The sales team starts leaning on their strategic accounts to close the gaps in the quarterly forecast. And when that becomes the priority, everything shifts. You start discounting. You set up that account to be sales-focused rather than valuing the relationship over time. And that unfortunately devalues the ROI of the relationship you're trying to build to get those higher levels of 3, 4, and 5. And real quick, your strategic accounts are measurably depending on what relationship level you are at with them. So watch my video that drives into the 5 levels and see where you're at. Anyways, once a customer starts viewing their relationship through a transactional lens, you can't get there. You've already set the tone, and this is about your numbers, not their success. Number 2, ignoring what happens after the sale. This one is painful because it's so avoidable. You close a big deal inside a strategic account, everyone celebrates, and then implementation gets handed off. The follow-through gets sloppy, and nobody is managing the customer's experience post-sale. In key accounts, more than any other, execution excellence matters. Your customer needs to get their business results and their personal wins after the deal closes. And your previous failures are going to follow you into your future sales opportunities inside that account. I mean that if you drop the ball on the last project, it's the first thing they're going to think about when you come back with the next proposal. You don't get a clean slate in strategic accounts. Number 3, ignoring anti-sponsors. Every strategic account has at least one anti-sponsor, at least one person who doesn't want you there. And that's the tricky part. They're not always loud about it. Sometimes the anti-sponsor is quietly influencing decisions behind the scene, CCing people on emails that reframe your work or raising concerns in meetings you're not invited to. They don't have to be openly hostile to do real damage. They just have to create enough doubt with the people who matter. And failing to identify that person and put real effort into managing their influence or converting them is a massive mistake. You just can't pretend they don't exist and hope the relationship carries you through. Because while you're focused on your champions and your day-to-day, that anti-sponsor is shaping the narrative in ways you can't see. You need to know who they are, you need to understand what's driving their resistance, and you need a deliberate plan in place to either manage their influence or convert them. Sometimes that means getting FaceTime with them directly, sometimes it means working through someone they trust. But you have to do something, because if you ignore them, it will come back to haunt you eventually. That's just how it works. Number 4, the lack of regular, robust quarterly business reviews. When you stop doing QBRs or they become shallow, you're limiting your access. And over time, the account forgets the value you're continuing to bring. And this is the part people underestimate. Your day-to-day contacts might know the work you're doing, but the people above them, the ones making budget decisions and renewal decisions, they only know what gets put in front of them. If you're not bringing that story to the table in a structured way, you're basically invisible to the people who decide whether you stay or go. As you're selling and delivering, you have to advertise, advertise, advertise the impact you're making to their organization. The QBR is one of the best ways to do that. I mean, a good QBR isn't just a status update. It's where you connect what you've delivered to their actual business outcomes. You surface new opportunities and you keep the strategic conversation going instead of letting the relationship drift into pure operations. It's your opportunity to put the results in front of the customer in a professional way and remind them why this relationship matters. When those stop happening, access starts to erode and conversations get thinner. And the problem is it happens gradually. So by the time you notice it, you've already lost ground. Number 5, failing to secure executive sponsorship inside your own organization. This one gets overlooked constantly. You need someone at the VP level or above, ideally C-suite, inside your own company who is aware of and understands the nuances of that strategic account and is actively involved. And I mean genuinely involved, not just someone whose name is on an org chart next to the account. This person needs to understand the history, the politics, the key relationships, what's been delivered, what's at stake. Because when they show up in front of the customer's leadership, the customer can tell immediately whether your executive actually knows the account or is just making a cameo. Maybe they show up at the QBR, but at a minimum, once or twice a year, you need executive to executive relationship building happening. That engagement signals to the customer how important they are to your organization. And from that customer's perspective, when your C-suite is sitting across from their C-suite, that tells them this isn't just another account to you. That changes the tone of the entire relationship. And honestly, it also gives you the internal leverage to get what you need. Because when you're managing a strategic account and you need something, whether it's R&D investment, product development, staff allocation, whatever it is, those requests move differently when there's an executive inside your organization who understands why that account matters and is willing to go to bat for it. Without that executive sponsorship, you're fighting for those resources on your own, competing against every other priority in the company with no one in the room advocating for your account. And that's a hard position to be in when the account needs something that isn't standard. So these are the 5 patterns that will kill strategic accounts and the uncomfortable truths. Most organizations are making at least 2 or 3 of these mistakes right now. If you're serious about protecting and growing your most important accounts, take a hard look at where you stand on each one of these. And if you want to go deeper in ways to maximize all of them, let's talk. I work with enterprise account managers to install the systems and frameworks that actually protect and grow your biggest accounts. It's the same system I use to grow an Amazon account over $12 billion. There's a link in the description below. Book a free call with me. Now, if you haven't seen my videos on the 5 levels of relationships in your key accounts, go watch it. It connects directly to what we've talked about today. I'll see you on the next one.